Hello, everybody. Sorry, excuse me. Forgive the delay. I was clicking the plus button on my volume indicator. The plus button on my volume indicator. I don't really know what I was saying, but you know the thing, the up and down volume switches? What is that even called? I was clicking the volume up button, which makes no sense because the sound is not supposed to be coming from my phone. It's supposed to be coming from my mouth. I'm sitting here. We have officially made it to December. Let's just take a moment of silence for November. Okay, I think we did it. But yeah, I come to you in December. You're going to be hearing this in December. It's all happening. The elves are making their way onto the shelves. Bless anyone that has to do that. For whatever reason, that wasn't really a thing. Or maybe it was a thing. I didn't participate in any elves on shelves, and in fact, it seems like quite a hassle to the point where I hope that it's not a thing. When if and when I have kids, I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to have to be worrying about, did the elf move? Where did I last put the elf? Where has the elf been? I can barely get out of bed to brush my teeth most days, so I don't really care for an extra task. Although I'd assume once you're a parent, like all of that's gone out the window, and you just you're busy enough that what's one extra thing? It's a different perspective, I guess. But as I am recording this, I am sipping a very watery hot chocolate. I think the idea is that it is a peanut butter hot chocolate. That's like the mix that I used. Now, to be honest, it was in a nondescript kind of plastic bag-ish, like not zippered bag, just like a loose bag. So really, who knows? There wasn't a label on it. There wasn't like a bulk barn tag of any sorts, an indicator, volume indicator of any sorts. But it tastes peanut buttery, but I definitely did not get the ratio right. See, I can kind of cook. I'll get to that later in the episode. I have some reviews of some things that I made that are mostly positive. But I can sort of cook, but I can't really do much eyeballing. So anytime I'm like baking, I kind of need to do like measurements. And I think that's everybody. Now, I don't know if I would consider hot chocolate cooking or baking, but in this case, it was baking, and I messed it up because I put way too not enough. That's definitely English. I do technically have an English degree. I put way too not enough. That is the title of the episode. 1 second while I just record this or mark that down. I put way too... I keep hiccuping. Forgive me. If I was any more professional, I would have re-recorded that whole part, but who cares? I put way too not enough hot chocolate powder. It is so watery. And I have to say, I distinctly remember the first time I tried a hot chocolate that I knew was made with water. Maybe it had happened before this point, but I just never could tell. I got it from this one place, and I actually can say the name of the place because I give them so much good feedback that like I can throw in a little bad. It was from 7-Eleven on my way to school. I was definitely in elementary school, so I'm going to guess like upper grade 5, 6, or 7. So like hovering around the age of 12, 11 or 12, 11 and a half. And I tasted it, and I thought, this is really bad. And I asked, the people in my car, and by that I mean my family, and said, does this taste weird to you? And I was informed that it was most likely made with water. Now, I think some hot chocolates have like some sort of a modified milk ingredient or like skim milk powder. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But there's something in the powder that when you mix it with water, makes it taste a little bit more creamy. Whereas whatever 7-Eleven was using, which, again, I love 7-Eleven. I spend my paychecks at 7-Eleven. You can get a piece of pizza. You can get a taquito. You can also get elastic bands. You can buy some hand sanitizer. And there's just not many stores that offer that. I think if you go back 3 or 4 episodes, I pretty much do a whole, not a eulogy because it's still here, but I celebrate 7-Eleven in a big way. So I can, in fact, say that their hot chocolate was disgusting. It was gross at the time. Maybe they've switched the recipe. Maybe the cup that I got was from an employee who didn't really, care. We've all been there. We've all been on both sides of that equation. Everyone has their own journey, but long story short, I'm sipping some watery hot chocolate. I did try and save it, being the chef that I am. I tried to save it by putting some eggnog spices in there. Like I have like a jar of like eggnog. It's called eggnog spice. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's sugar. I don't know if it's just the same things that I bought in a pumpkin pie spice, but just with a different label on it. Who knows? But they got me. Honestly, I am the most... Is it still called influential if you're on the other side of it? Like I'm the most impressionable. I'm the most impressionable person. I will see a commercial and I'm like, I need a Big Mac. I will see a, Keurig commercial and think, I need a Keurig. Because I do need a Keurig and I don't have one. So if anyone wants to send me a Keurig, let me know. And then if you want to include in it a like lifetime free supply of those little pods that cost like $400 a thing, that would be exceptional. Because that's what they get you with the Keurig. They're like, yeah, the machine is like, $100 or whatever. Probably like as you get fancier, as you sort of add more features, like if you want to do an iced coffee, if you want to do a latte, like you probably get into the $200, $300, $400, $500 range. But you can get like a decent one. I actually saw on Amazon when I was doing some Cyber Monday shopping, which started a month ago and ended like 2 days ago. So it's like, how is this Cyber Monday? It was a Cyber Month Day. Also a good contender for the episode, Cyber Month Day. I might like that one better. Apologies, way too not enough. Cyber Month Day. We'll see. Maybe a worthy opponent will make itself known through the rest of the program. But I saw on Cyber Month Day that they had like an Amazon Basics, essentially a Keurig, that you could put the little Keurig pods into not the coffee machine. But I don't know. That's a bit creepy for me. I'm going to be like fully 100% transparent. I don't know if I started a story in the last 7 minutes. Like, I don't know if there's loose ends that I have yet to tie up. But I'm just going to keep it moving. What I think you need to know, recap, is I'm drinking lukewarm, microwave-made, watery, peanut butter hot chocolate. And sitting on the classic beanbag chair in the month of December. We've watered it down. We've watered it down to this. I hope everyone had a great week. I hope you're having a great start to the Christmas season. My problem with Christmas, just to get straight to it, is I never know when to fully embrace, like, it's Christmas. Because, like, ideally, like, November 1st, jingle bells to the wall, ornaments to the wall, like we're going. But for some reason, it feels like a smidge too early. I think I would enjoy being an American in the facet of Thanksgiving. One, because I think the food is probably better than the food that they really offer for the Canadian Thanksgiving. But also, I think it's probably good to have something that happens in November. October, you have Halloween. November, you have Thanksgiving. Christmas is in December, if you celebrate Christmas. Or, there's other holidays that happened in December, right? But the problem is, when you have Thanksgiving in October, after Halloween, it's like wide open. And while I wish I could embrace 2 months of the Christmas spirit, for whatever reason, I've come to the conclusion that, like, I don't have that much Christmas spirit in me. And it was a sad thing to realize, but it was an important thing to realize because I don't want to start forcing it, November 1st, when it wouldn't naturally happen till later on in December. Now, the problem is, if you wait till later on in December, then you only have, like, 3 weeks of the Christmas spirit. I looked at the calendar. There is, like, 20 days till Christmas. That's nuts. That's, like, almost 2.5 weeks. That's a half a week away from being 2.5 weeks. And, like, by the time, not this episode, but the next episode comes out, it's going to be, like, the 14th. And that's 11 days away from Christmas, which is 2 days away from it being single-digit numbers away from Christmas. That is nuts. I'm pretty sure that there are only... After this episode, there's only 2 more episodes of the Nobody Asked For This podcast till our Christmas episode. No, sorry. Till Christmas, period. That's nuts. It's not right. I haven't watched any Christmas movies. I don't have a Christmas sweater. I'm drinking this hot chocolate, just praying, crossing my fingers that it's going to inject some sort of holiday spirit. But the problem is, some years the holiday spirit doesn't come. You know what I think it is? I think that week of, when you're in elementary school, even high school, that last week of school is the Christmas spirit. Because the teachers kind of stop teaching because you forget that teachers are, I promise I'll get back to what I was talking about, but I feel like you forget that teachers are at work. You know what I mean? School is so much about you as a student. You kind of think of it as this thing that's happening to you that you forget that this is where people go to work. So me at work the week before Christmas is the same as a teacher being at work the week before Christmas. You're not really interested in what's happening. You're not really paying attention to anything. You kind of just want to be on vacation already. You're planning your, trip to the Caribbean and such and such and such. So I really appreciated that last week where they basically decided there's definitely going to be no tests. I'm definitely not teaching anything. We're just going to watch Elf. But the problem was you watched Elf in every class. So I know the first probably 45 to an hour minutes of Elf more than I know my own name. More than I could recite to you the first maybe hour or so of Elf with more accuracy than I could tell you the number on the bottom of my passport. And I think that is a positive. I think that is a win on the column of me. I think it is. I don't really know what that means. But what I do know for sure is that last week was the best, especially because some weeks or some years I would have exams the week before. So it was the last 2 weeks, you were doing exams, so you didn't have classes. But then the week after, you did have classes, but it it wasn't really classes because when you need to start teaching after an exam when you're about to go away for 2 weeks. No, you're going to watch the first 45 minutes of Elf, and then you're going to go to your next class where you watch the first 45 minutes of Elf, and then you're going to go to the next class where you watch the first 45 minutes of Elf, and there might be some Home Alone sprinkled in there somewhere, but it's Elf. I don't know what the movie was, 30 years ago, before Elf was a thing. I don't know what movie they were showing, but probably Home Alone. Well, actually, that probably came out in the 90s too. I'm not sure. I don't know. I ask the questions, not answer them. Regardless, I've been listening to Christmas music nonstop, ad nauseam. What is that? What is that sentence? That saying? It's it sounds like at a nauseam, but it's ad nauseam. I'm Googling that. Ad nauseam. Okay, yeah. Referring to something that has been done or repeated so often that it becomes annoying or tiresome. Ain't that the truth? Ad nauseam. I walked around the planet thinking that it was ad nauseam. Okay, it auto-corrected ad nauseam to ad a museum. Couldn't be me. Okay, I've had a third contender. I said this might happen, it's happened. Ad nauseam could also be the title of this episode. Let's combine them. Cyber Monthday, ad nauseam. Let's do it. I'm editing it in the recording at a nauseam. The problem with naming these episodes is sometimes I do something, what's that word? In an ironic way. But it makes me nervous that someone's going to see that and think that I'm being serious. Or I'll spell something wrong on purpose. But I'm scared that someone's going to look at that and be he doesn't know how to spell. I mean, I don't know how to spell. But that's not the point. It's the principle. of the thing. I sometimes find that the episodes where I have, maybe thought of a list of a few things to talk about, every once in a while I'll be walking around and I'll think, oh, that'd be a funny thing to talk about, on the podcast, and then I'll like write it in my notes app. So sometimes I'll sit down with like 2 or 3 things just to sort of use as jumping off points. Other than that, I plan nothing. And I usually barely even do that. However, the times where I have like a list of 2 or 3 things to talk about are the times that I talk about my hot chocolate being watery for 14 minutes. And then, obviously we tangent from there. But for whatever reason, anytime that I don't have 2 or 3 things to talk about, I have nothing to talk about. And then I have to talk about like my toenails. Which I probably do have an episode of my toenails. It is cool to be at a point now where I'll kind of scroll through, and I don't do this often, but I'll scroll through the podcast thing, and I see titles of episodes that I don't even remember. I'm like, I don't know what I talked about there. And I do feel like it is important to mention, I do this once an episode, this feels like the time to do it. When it sounds like I'm talking to, 7 million people and saying things like, when people see that I've spelled the podcast title wrong, or, other sentences that make it seem like I think I have listeners, just know that I don't. I've accepted it years ago. And by years ago, I mean however many years ago I started this, by how many years I mean months. I think it's been maybe a year and a half. Hey, that's exciting. Yeah, I think, let's go back. Let's look. I think we're coming up on a year and a half, which I'm pretty sure in humans is like exciting. Like you're a year and a half. Nobody asked for the. Am I even subscribed? Okay, nobody asked for this. Aha. We started. Let me see. We started June 13th, but I think I posted it the day before. So June 14th, which June to December is 6 months. So if we went a year, that would be June 2023. It was June of 2022. So June of 2023 is a year, which means December 13th of 2023 is a year and a half. Okay, so I'll be the next episode, if everything goes to plan, will be recorded on the year and a half anniversary. Wow. Isn't that fitting? Isn't that good to know? Let me drink my watery hot chocolate once more. I think it's starting to go to my head. But long story short, I know no one listens to this. I know no one cares. I've had a couple people be like, why are you still doing this? And by a couple people, I mean my family. And I'm like, you know what? I'm doing it because I don't want to stop doing it. I haven't really had the urge. I enjoy doing it. I think I have a lot of thoughts in my head. None of them like controversial per se, but like, I don't know, sometimes it's good to talk to your phone. I'm a huge proponent and advocate for talking to yourself. I think it's healthy. And this is essentially my version of talking to myself, but it's almost even better because I can do it with the semi-intention of other people hearing it. So it's like, I'm not being crazy and talking to myself. I'm talking to people. I'm talking to my friends. And it's not my problem that no one listens to it on the other end. Like I do my job. Every week I come on here and I post something to the podcast feed, which I think is called, what is the feed of a podcast called? It's like the RSS or something, or RRS, or the IRS. I don't know, but I do my job. I pay my taxes and I do my job, and I think that should be celebrated by me. Oh, I have an idea. I have a sort of semi-Shark Tank pitch. I guess it's not really Shark Tank, because I guess to do Shark Tank you would need a need for money, and I don't really need money to do this. I just sort of need like-minded people to jump on board. So I was looking around my neighborhood the other day. I was walking, just doing my rounds as a part of the neighborhood watch that I'm not a part of, I don't think exists. And I haven't been asked to do. My self-inflicted neighborhood watch. Wow, that's a 4th potential title. I think I like Cyber Monthday at a Nauseam best. But anyway, I was doing my neighborhood watch walk, aka walking from the spot I have to park in at my house to my actual front door. And I was looking around and I'm saying, man, I've been looking at these houses, the outside of these houses, for years. Whether or not it's the same people living in them, like I've been looking at these houses at this point, like most of my life. You know, most of my 23 years. I guess that would be, when did I move? Like a vast majority of my life. And I don't know what the insides look like. You know, sometimes I'll be nosy and it's like, oh, your entire window's open and you have lights on inside? Like, okay, I'll take a peek. But I don't know what the inside looks like. So I really feel like there should be a, instead of a block party, like a let's all look inside each other's houses. And I'll sign up for that too. Like you can come in and look at my house. Like I just want to see like what the inside of these buildings that I know the outside so well. You know, like what's going on in there. Like not even like to be it's definitely to be nosy. But not like I don't want to know your business. I want to know like, do you have marble as a backsplash? Stuff like that. Because like I don't know, I can't tell you. Now you could say just go to the open houses, but like some of these people have been here for years and there's no sign of slowing down. So that's not really an option for me anymore. And most of my houses, all of my real estate properties, most of these houses were bought before there was like a realestate.com. You could do like the virtual tours. It was all pre-COVID. Now I feel like sometimes I'll do this sometimes. I'll just go on like Airbnb and find like random houses that are like $100,000 a day to rent or whatever. And I just kind of do like the virtual, what is that called? Open house. It's thrilling. It's a great way to waste an afternoon. And I would love to do that with houses that I'm familiar with, but I can't do that because most of them were sold. Like the last time they were bought was a pre-virtual open house season or whatever. I got to get one of those VR. Is the Airbnb app available to download on a VR headset? Because that would be genius. Do I have to think of everything? Okay, let me see. Open house via VR. Via VR. That is the real title. Virtual reality is the new open house. Oh, okay, this is an article from 2016. I'm only like 6 years behind. That's very exciting. I feel like this sounds really cool and would be a great thing if, again, you want to just be nosy. But I feel like it's probably, you shouldn't like purchase a home that you haven't physically been in, because one thing VR cannot do is smell yet. You can't feel like it has one of the senses down, but you have to know what the house tastes like. You have to know what the house feels like. Again, smells like. What's the other one? Touch, taste, smell, see, hear? Is that 5? Touch, taste, smell, see, hear. Yeah, your 5 senses. And then your 6th sense, the Long Island medium, like, what is this? The spirit coming through. That's the 6th one. And then what? Didn't they make a 7th one that Trader Joe's sells? It's like a umami or something like that. Oh wait, no, sorry. That's a different type of taste. That's like sweet, sour, bitter, umami. Wait, I have to fix this. What is umami? I'm kind of uncomfortable saying that. It's a different word for savory. Okay, cool. Good to know. I'm kind of embarrassed that I thought that was the new scent. Sense. Don't even get me started on how English makes no sense. The word sense can be like money. It can be you have no sense, like you're senseless, like you're stupid, me. Or, how did I just use it? Your senses. Which I guess is sort of like derivative of the same thing, but you know what I mean. Sense, money and feeling or smarts makes no sense, is what it makes. Okay, I'm gonna do something I haven't done in a while. Calculus. No. I'm going to do a Gupdate. If anyone doesn't remember, when this show started, a mere close to 18 months ago, that would be a year and a half. I used to think 16 months was a year and a half, but apparently it's not. Regardless, in the early episodes of the Nobody Asked for This podcast, we had a segment called Gupdate. Now, Gupdate is not an acronym. What is that called? It is it's a compound word consisting of the word gut, as in stomach, the biological definition of gut, and update. So it's a gut update, a Gupdate, where we would just give updates on our sort of gut biome, our microbiome, if we had anything to report, just gutturally, type thing. And I'm going to bring it back because I need to go to the restroom. I need to use the washroom. It's happening. I don't know if hot chocolate has the exact same effect as coffee, but I feel like it does, even though that doesn't really make sense. But I feel like for whatever reason, sipping this hot chocolate out of this mug has made me need to run to the restroom. Now, I think I have enough time to where I can wrap up the show. I think I have enough control over the situation that I don't think it's like dire, but like we got to get there eventually. So it was a mini Gupdate. I also have to say, I really feel like in the last even like 2 or 3 years, I feel like people have gotten more open about diarrhea in particular. And I have to say, I feel like I was spearheading that movement. I have been talking openly about diarrhea, or not even diarrhea, just, bowel movements for years. And I got called gross. I got called disgusting. I got called too much. Those things were all probably true. But now I hear people talking about their guts and their, whether or not they're regular, in the middle of their Instagram ads. So I feel like if it's made it to the Instagram ad space, wherein a brand is paying someone to talk about their diarrhea and how it's been positively impacted by, I don't know, whatever vitamin, mineral, nutrient that they're trying to, sell to us. If those people are talking about it, then I think all flags are green for me. And I was doing it at a time where all the flags were red, or at least, not fully green. So I don't know. I like to bring that up probably about every 3 or 4 months, just so everybody knows what a trailblazer I am. Are you okay? To be a trailblazer, I guess to be an influencer, you have to have influence over other people. So I definitely don't have that. But like, do you have to be like a public figure to be a trailblazer? Because I feel like I'm on the cutting edge of a lot of trends, but like by pure coincidence. Is that more or less impressive? Like if you create a trend, it's just everyone copying you. But like if I knew what the trends were going to be before they were trendy, I feel like that is where, that's where the real impressiveness happens. It's something to think about. Also, before I let you all go, and by let you all go, I mean let me go. We got to wrap this up, if you know what I mean, before it wraps me up. But before I go, I would like everyone to know that if you can make it to a Costco, if you have a membership, if you can find someone else's membership, I would recommend going with them. I think they're getting like strict on memberships. It's like going to the bar now. Like they check your ID, your Costco ID. Don't say I didn't warn you, but get to a Costco and buy the s'more clusters. Now you might be thinking s'mores. That sounds like a summer thing. It definitely is. I don't know if maybe I missed the boat on them the original time that they were out. I don't know if maybe this is just a new thing that they decided to launch in, the dead of fall. near winter, in deep fall, just for fun. I'm not exactly sure. I don't really care. They're delicious. They're these little clusters. There's graham cracker bits, like almost like a golden graham cereal with some marshmallow, dipped in chocolate with some caramel. They're very good. I put one in the microwave for a couple seconds, like less than 5 seconds is all you need just to get it a little bit melty, or just eat it as it is. It's very good. This is not a paid ad. It has not positively or negatively affected my microgut biome. And the more you know. So I really have to go in all senses of the term, but I appreciate anyone that has listened to this, even though I know that is nobody. Hey, maybe in the future there are people that are listening to this. So if that is the case, have a great one. I hope the future's killer. I hope I'm still in it. And yeah, I just hope everyone has a great weekend. Oh, I forgot to say, if you want to listen to more of the Nobody Asked For This podcast, you can find us on podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com. I'm like 90% sure that's the website. Every once in a while, I have to double check because I say podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com so often that it's not really me. Like, I'm not really thinking about it as like a sentence of trying to get, correct information out of there. Like, it's just sort of like a catchphrase at this point. And I did check about 6 months ago and realized that I was saying the website name wrong. So I'm just going to assume that it's right for this time. Maybe I'll check it again when I'm in less dire of a circumstance. But yeah, on that website, you can find our links to our Apple Podcasts and Spotify and our Twitter or our X or whatever it's called now. Stupid. Yeah. Thank you for listening. We'll see you later. Bye.